All right, we're here. This is No Class Podcast, I guess. That's what we're going to call it. Do you agree? I don't, we didn't workshop it. So
Not at all. I
essentially,
like it though.
I'm Sky. This is Zach. We've been buddies for like coming up on 20 years, vaguely, like give or take some, I think. Um, we've always played games. We've always been vaguely in the environment of like music and movies, pop culture, games. That's kind of always been our thing. Um, we figured this would be a cool platform to just kind of and talk about everything going on as far as like in gaming about stuff. And I mean, as well as our channel, we're going to post gaming content as well. We're just in the workshop of that. It takes time. Got anything to talk about with that?
Negative, you touched on everything that I would have
Okay.
talked about.
That's kind of the base concept of what we're going to do as far as this channel goes. We have a lot of experience in gaming. We've listened to music since we were kids. We grew up in like very music oriented households. And then, I don't know, we're vaguely autistic. So I think that helps. So, um, I think we've got a couple touch points today to talk about. One of the first ones was brought up by Zach here. He wanted to talk about why Bethesda is slowly falling apart. I'll let you start to stream on that, and I'll chime in when relevant.
Oh, so the first thing that I wanted to say about that is, and sorry about the background noise. I have a slight headache now, but um, like I know that you liked Starfield.
Mm-hmm. I did.
You you thoroughly enjoyed it. Me personally, I didn't. I gave it a college try. I had a couple. I had like 10 or so hours in it.
Mm-hmm.
But I thought that it was too too linear, and like my thing about it is like I know that like if you're actually going out, you know, say out in space doing exploration and shit,
Mm-hmm.
and they had like a bunch of fucking planets that you could visit.
Yeah.
Why is everything vacant?
Um. So I probably had 40 hours, I would say, in the game. Um. A good bit of it was vacant, and I'll give you that. That one I can't like deny. But
Mm-hmm.
I feel like over 60% of them were not vacant. Like a lot of like the supplementary moons and stuff were vacant for sure. And like you could find some scrap and shit on them. But I feel like a lot of the planets maybe they didn't have like a full civilization, but they would have like a community on it. If not aliens for you to like kill.
Mm-hmm. I guess maybe I didn't go to enough, but all the ones that I went to, there was like, you can pick up something here, something there, but everything was just kind of barren.
Okay.
Like going to our moon, and maybe I just didn't find side quests, but it kind of feels like everything that they've been putting out just doesn't have the feeling that it used to.
What do you mean by that?
You know what I mean?
Like by the feeling that it used to.
Like play Oblivion
Mm-hmm.
and then play Starfield.
I think that if you approach it with the same vigor that you approached Oblivion with, you would find that there is just as much to do. I found a limitless amount of side quests. Actually, I was bitchy that it was too full of side quests, and that
Really?
I had like trouble finding main storylines. Like I obviously played. I forget what. Actually, at this point, it's been a year since I played it, but there was a quest line that I hooked myself onto, and then I actually found myself Googling what the next quest in it was so that I could like continue my progression.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it was essentially like the what I would call the dark brotherhood of that game because that was like my immediate thing was like okay this is a not a Scrolls-esque, but it's the same company. They have the same ideas. They're gonna have like the same vague outline. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna shoot for this. I want to find like the Dark Brotherhood type of quest, and then after I'm done with that, I want to do like the pseudo mages guild, like go through each sectional thing instead of completing the main story first. I
It's like,
found like the main
Fighters
storylines
Guild,
of their games to be
Thieves Guild type shit, yeah.
yeah, yeah. I found the main storyline of their games to be super drab personally. I think that Oblivion had a better main storyline than Skyrim, and I think that Morrowind's main storyline was actually pretty close to Oblivion's as far as that goes.
It just, to me, it kind of sounds, and maybe I'm looking at it through rose-colored glasses and fucking nostalgia, but it kind of seems like every game that they put out just gets like progressively less and less and less. Like they're like, oh, this is, the graphics in this game are fucking great, but the side quests get a little shorter, the main quest gets a little more linear, everything just kind of, gets shorter and shorter, but like graphically everything is better, but that like I can play like Fallout 3, Fallout New Vegas, even Fallout 4 1,000 times over, and I'm always finding new shit. But when it comes to
Sure.
like Skyrim or like any other new things that they've put out,
Hmm.
I don't really give a fuck.
I mean, I guess I do kind of identify with that, especially in the Fallout series. Given I was somebody who skipped 3 and went straight to New Vegas initially, but I went back through and I downloaded Fallout 3 on my PC and kept it all vanilla. I didn't do any mods. And I played through the entire main quest and I took my time on it. I hit any supplementary side quests that I ran across. I didn't go out of my way to find them, but anything that I came across, I would hit. And it was a good balance. It was challenging. I mean, it's clunky as shit, but that comes with the time. But I feel like having went back, I have a whole new respect for Fallout 3 and so much more hatred for Fallout 4.
I think the only redeeming quality of Fallout 4 is the
Customization.
customization. Thank you.
Hmm.
The customization of the weapons and the base building. I think that was like the only like redeeming quality of Fallout 4. The main quest was super boring personally. I thought that there were some cool aspects of it. The
Hmm.
companions were nice. I like the companions,
Yeah.
even though my ass only ever stuck with Piper because I thought she was the coolest.
Hmm.
That's just me personally. I mean, I know
Sure.
I've had this talk with a couple people, and they're like, "Well, what about this person, this person, this person?" I'm like, "Yeah, but I don't know. Like, I think I just I I don't know. I just really liked Piper personally.
Sure.
Valentine was
Um,
cool. Curie was cool, but I don't know. But the companions, the base building, and the customization of the weapons and shit, I think were the like biggest redeeming qualities of Fallout 4. Other than that, I couldn't be bothered. Like the only reason I play it now is because of the mods.
I think that the base building is what turned me off of Fallout 4 so hard.
Really?
Yeah, it was like the most frustrating thing to me. That and the constant, this settlement needs your help. Like that was,
Fuck, take Preston Garvey the fuck out of there.
yeah.
Personally, I every single time I went back to Sanctuary or a different settlement, I would completely fucking ignore him.
Hmm.
Like, I'm pretty sure I downloaded a mod the last time I played it to just not have Preston Garvey fucking anywhere.
That's fair. He was really annoying. I think that, but yeah, I think that that is what turned me off of Fallout 4 was the base building. I mean, it was cool. Don't get me wrong, but I played enough Ark and spent enough time building bases and shit like that that I feel like that's what killed me out. And I think that's in the same breath, though, ironically, is what brought me in so hard on Sons of the Forest, being a completely different game, but because of the base building. And it
Hmm.
felt like new mechanically.
Yeah, I thought the base building in Sons of the Forest was great, and the fact that you could like with that big ass fucking tower that I made
Mm-hmm.
that took like
Like the blueprint.
what was it like
Yeah.
150 fucking logs in
Mm-hmm.
total,
Yeah.
just for shits and giggles. I thought that was really cool, and the fact
Yeah.
that yeah, there's a blueprint and you can just chop down tree, put it over here. I like that,
Yeah, it was more
but
attainable.
yeah, but I thoroughly enjoyed the base building in Fallout 4. I thought it was cool.
See, I personally wasn't a fan. I think that as far as Bethesda goes, we'll find out about the next Elder Scrolls. I think that'll be the make or break for the company.
In 2036 when it finally comes
Yeah,
out.
whenever they actually decide to get off their ass about it. I mean, I'm sure that they're working diligently on it, but it's going to be too little too late. I feel like by the time they come out with something else palpable by the ES community, it's going to be too little too late. The majority of the current followers of it are people that were in our generation that were obsessed with Skyrim, or people that are so
Oblivion.
deep in ESO that any content that isn't an MMO is going to be gross. And I think that if they make another MMO instead of a single release, it's going to be a mistake. I'm cool
It's
with
gonna
a
be
2 to 4 player um, Elder
oh yeah,
Scrolls universe.
if they
But
made it multiplayer, like,
small scale.
you know, small scale. Like, bring in some couch co-op or fucking online multiplayer. That'd be
Realistically, it's
sick.
going to be online multiplayer. Couch co op's a thing of the past.
But listen, alright. Okay, listen.
No, I get
I
it.
still love couch co-op.
So do I.
I don't give a fuck.
That's like one of the most satisfying things is, you know what, I'm gonna disconnect for a night. We're just gonna sit on the couch. We're gonna play Halo 2. Like
Yeah,
it's a
exactly.
nice it's a nice throwback. But I think realistically we're gonna look at, I don't think they're gonna do just another single player. I think that between Fallout 76 and ESO, they're gonna realize that they had so high of a response to people being able to play with their friends in their universe that they're likely gonna make it like a solo or co-op with, within reason. I'm gonna guess 2 to 4. Um,
Yeah, probably. But I don't know, I
yeah,
just
I mean,
this this whole I don't know what like I know MMOs are super popular,
mhm.
but I couldn't be bothered with an
No, I don't
MMO.
have time. I work a full-time job. I don't have MMO time.
Well, I mean,
Like,
it's not even like the time aspect of it. It's just that like the quests in MMOs are the most boring thing ever. And like,
true.
don't get me wrong, I loved World of Warcraft. I still occasionally hop on World of Warcraft, but I don't want to play World of Warcraft with a fucking Fallout skin.
Right. No, I concur with that. I dove into ESO when it first came out, and I hated it. I hated that I had to pay $20 to ride a fucking horse. Um,
Yeah,
just wasn't it. Um,
no.
okay, that's probably good on our Bethesda bashing for the moment. Um, another
There's gonna
thing,
be more. I got so much shit to say about Bethesda.
there's gonna be inevitably.
Yeah.
As far as other things that we had lined up, another thing that was near and dear to our hearts throughout our childhood and everything was Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. That was a game that I remember as a kid playing on my sister's PlayStation 1, was Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1. Um, I'm pretty sure anytime I hear the song Superman, I get thrown back into like being a kid and getting excited for a chicken quesadilla. Um, with that being said, though, they just announced on, what was it, like, I guess beginning of this month, that they were going to re-release 3 and 4 as a remaster, but not the campaign of 4.
And obviously not the 2-minute sessions from 3 because they're remastering the PlayStation 1 versions. And honestly, even though we played the PlayStation 1 version of Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3, it just, personally, it wasn't the same because that's not the one that I played. I
See, I
played the
never played 3
PlayStation 2
at all.
version. I liked 3. I liked the 3 that I played. And
Right.
I feel like if you're going to do a remaster of 4, you gotta have the campaign. All the goofy little little things that you could do. And granted, there were a lot. Like, it was essentially like the 2-minute sessions with, like, little other fun things you could do. Like, oh, you got to grind on the wall to get these banners down, and you got to do it in this amount of time. But as soon as you're done, you can go do whatever the fuck you want until you complete all the quests.
Right.
Or a certain amount, unlock the next area. But that's what was fun to me. It wasn't just find the secret tape, collect skate, the 2-minute things. There were other goofy stuff that you could do.
Right.
And
like the baseball in Alcatraz.
Like the baseball in Alcatraz. Or the tennis at the college.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like
and
that's what I want to do.
There was another one. There was a luge one, wasn't there?
Yeah. And there was also the in Alcatraz there was that loop that you could do that you got to hit the target.
Yep.
That's not going to be in there, and that's gonna that was as aggravating as it was. Like if you've done it 1,000 times,
for sure.
But it was still fun.
Yeah, it was an aspect of the game that is memorable.
Yeah,
it's something that like that. Like as a kid, I remember I played an absurd amount of Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 4. That is what I remember. No, you couldn't get off your board. Yes, it was so annoying to try and like steer around with the D-pad to stop everywhere to do what you had to do. But there was something fun about rolling up on Bam Margera, just fucking like dancing over in the corner, asking you to do some dumb shit. Like that was Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 4 to me. Was the interaction with the NPCs, the the homeless dude that needed you to grind the trash off the rail, like the goofiest shit. Like that was
pink elephants. The pink elephant thing.
The pink elephants.
It was
there was
fun.
So much to it, and like grinding over the linebackers coming at you.
Like,
those challenges aren't going to be in it, and I don't know how they're going to bastardize it to.
They're not gonna. I don't think they're gonna bastardize it. They're just gonna remaster the one that they released for PlayStation, or the original PlayStation, which isn't. I don't think anybody played.
The copies are $700 on eBay. I just looked it up.
For the PlayStation 1 version?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think anybody ever played that.
Yeah, the original Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 4 career is being replaced with time-based challenges.
Yeah,
I'm optimistic that we Sonic the Hedgehog them and bully them so hard that they realize that they're going to make a giant mistake and lose a shitload of money. Because, dude, honestly, I don't have interest in it if it doesn't have the original campaign.
Neither do I, like, at all. If it's just 2-minute sessions, I'm not gonna buy it.
No,
I'll just replay the remaster of 1 and 2.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or I'll waste money and buy Pro Skater 5.
Is that a thing?
Yeah, that was a thing. Yeah, know that? They made a Pro Skater 5. It had a Lil Wayne in it.
I did not play that.
I didn't either.
Give me 1 second. Have to pause the recording. Okay. Yeah, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 5. I was not aware that that was a thing. I feel like that is the one I skipped because I remember having Project 8.
Oh, fuck, dude. Project 8 was... I don't care what anybody says. Project 8 was 1,000 times better than American Wasteland and 1,000 times better than what was the other one that they came out with?
Underground?
No, it was
Ride?
Project 8. No, it was another one that was like Project 8 and American Wasteland. It was around the same veil. I can picture the cover of it, and I can picture the like things that I did in it, but I can't picture the game itself.
Proving Ground?
Proving Ground. Thank you.
Yep. Cool.
Yeah, Project 8 was better than Proving Ground and better than American Wasteland. It was top tier. But everybody only ever talks about American Wasteland, and I don't know why. American Wasteland wasn't that good.
I
I
played a
thought
bunch of Project 8.
Project 8 was the coup de grace.
Mhm.
It was just fantastic. It was their magnum opus. It was amazing.
Yeah, I liked it. It was good.
I will jerk that game off until the day I die. And
I
as
guess.
as a little like 10-year-old playing that game, it was cool that I could play a kid.
Yeah,
That was cool as shit.
that's fair. Um, a following bit with it. When do you think they stop remastering the Tony Hawk games?
Probably after
Because,
Underground
like,
1 and 2.
you think?
Yeah, they'll probably do Underground 1 and 2, and then that'll be the last ones. But I think they would do Underground 1 and 2 solo instead of 1 2 remaster, 3 4 remaster. It would be Underground 1, then Underground 2.
That's fair.
But how are you going to do Underground 2 if you don't have Bam Margera?
Right. And I know that they've talked about how they wanted to get Bam Margera involved and that, like, Tony Hawk made sure that he was going to have Bam Margera involved in all of it, which I think is important. Like, that has to happen. Bam Margera was an
Mm-hmm.
integral part of Tony Hawk. Like, he was such a huge part of skate culture in the early 2000s. They're like, yeah, he's had his troubles and he's fallen off, but
Mm-hmm.
as a kid, that was what I watched, was like Viva La Bam. I mean, yeah, I watched Robin Big too, but I didn't watch Rob Deerdeck because he was a good skater. I watched him because he was a funny little guy.
Yeah, and the interactions between him and Big were, I liked
Top
them.
tier. Yeah, they were top tier.
Top tier.
Okay. Topic 3 is the Assassin's Creed progression. So this one's a
This
touchy
was
topic as of late.
this one's going to be mostly you because I played the first one and hated it.
Yeah.
Then I played Brotherhood, Black Flag, and I'm
Mhm.
going to get the newest one because it's set in Japan.
Right. So let me pull up a list of the Assassin's Creed games.
Get the get the ones that weren't like get the ones that were actual Assassin's Creed games and not the weird side scrollers.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. Okay, so
Oh, and I played Syndicate. I fucking love Syndicate. Syndicate was fun as shit.
okay, so Assassin's Creed 1, you discovered. I think you played as like Desmond Miles. You discovered that one of your ancestors, you had DNA that matched, and you could play as Altair.
Mm-hmm.
Really good game, really cool. Historically, had it had a lot of good historical information in it. Um, I remember at the time when I was playing that, I was also learning about like the Crusades and stuff like that in school. And I remember a lot of this stuff. I was like, oh yeah, I saw that in Assassin's Creed. I thought it was really funny, but super clunky controls wasn't great. I don't think it had a crazy amount of traction. I think it was something that a niche community really liked. Assassin's Creed 2 comes out 2 years later. That game is still one of my all-time favorite games. I can go back and play that 1,000 times and I don't care. Um, it had such better, so much better of like movement mechanics and the the way that the hidden blade worked, the way that jumping from building to building worked, the way that rolling worked, the way that fitting into a crowd worked. Everything I felt was class in that. Brotherhood came out. I thought Brotherhood kind of sucked, personally. Just wasn't a fan. Revelations was the most confusing game I ever played in my life. Maybe it's because I was only like 14 when it came out, but that
Mm.
game made my brain hurt because of the time jumps. Assassin's Creed 3 was dope. I believe that's the one that you played as a Native American in. I think. Uh,
No. Assassin's Creed 3 was still in the Ezio collection,
was it?
I think.
The main narrative is set in 18th century colonial America. Two character stories interconnected. Hatham Kenway, and a British Templar who does devote a presence for his order.
Oh, then maybe
And a
I'm wrong.
half Mohawk son. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I was
So
incorrect
yeah,
about that.
Assassin's Creed 3 I did enjoy. It it didn't have the replayability for me. I played through it once, and that was it. Black Flag I have arguably some of the lowest hours in of all of them. I enjoyed it. The ship mechanics were trash. Playing as a pirate's fun. Ship mechanics were trash.
The ship
Um,
mechanics are trash.
Rogue I played through singular time. Didn't have a super big hard on for it. Unity I played I think twice. I think. But again, it was a good one. It was decent. Syndicate, they started to change up their style. I think that Syndicate, they refined the controls more. They put a little bit of something in it. They almost redefined how Assassin's Creed felt, I think, in Syndicate.
Hmm.
Between the
That was
character
the
swapping and everything like that.
that was the Industrial Revolution one.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's the one. That's
Um,
that's the one I have the most hours in because I'm super interested in the Industrial Revolution, and
mhm.
the fact that you can swap back and forth between the twins was super fucking cool.
Right. And I agree with that. That's the end of period one of Assassin's Creed. And then period two, I think they could have just made none of them. That was Origins, Odyssey, Valhalla, and Mirage. I think that all four of those games, given I only played Origins. Yeah, I only played Origins. And Origins made me so mad that I did not play Odyssey, Valhalla, or Mirage.
I did play Valhalla, but I have maybe 5 hours, maybe upwards of 10 at the most, but
Mm-hmm.
that's only because it kind of seemed like they were making a joke out of the stealth mechanics and it just turned into an action adventure game.
Mm-hmm.
And I wasn't really a fan of that because I'm a big advocate on stealth mechanics, and
Right.
that any game with a stealth mechanic, I'm probably going to play the shit out of. The only
Mm-hmm.
reason I didn't get into Assassin's Creed was just because the first one killed it for me, and all the little like eavesdropping shit that you had to do, and like the information gathering just kind of
Mm-hmm.
killed it for me. And the fact that I go from one little city and ride my horse 1,000 miles to the next city, do the same thing that I just did in the other city, kind of killed it for me.
That was an AC1.
That wasn't. I'm pretty sure that was AC1 because
You didn't
that
have a
was the
horse in
first one that I
AC1?
played. Then, and then maybe I'm getting things confused because I know I played the first one because I
Yeah.
didn't play any of the
The
other
first
ones
one was
after
hard,
that.
and like it was super mentally demanding. Um, but no, the new Assassin's Creed. So Assassin's Creed Shadows 2025, set in feudal Japan. There's an absurd amount of controversy about this because half of the world is screaming that they're blackwashing everything, and the other half of the world knows how to use Google. Um, so I
So
feel like this is one
also,
that, depending
there's
on the
like 2%
mechanics,
of us. There's 2% of us that are super into Japanese history and culture, and already knew that that was a thing.
right?
Hi, that's me.
So if the mechanics are like they were in Origins, I won't go in. Period. I think that the you're not a high enough level to do this is absolute bullshit. Um, I think that if I'm going to walk up behind somebody and stab them, I don't give a shit if they're a king. If I'm using a sharp weapon and piercing the back of their skull with it, they die. That was my biggest gripe about Origins is it didn't matter. You could sneak up on somebody that was the fucking, the little skull icon next or above their head. And if even if you performed what would have been a stealth kill, it was like, oh, here's the little beep, little tiny bit off their health bar. Sorry. No, fuck that. That's
That's
stupid.
that's what I like about this one is even though I haven't played it yet, I've watched a lot of videos on it, a lot of playthroughs. They're mixing the new fans that came from Origins, Valhalla, and the other one,
Mm-hmm.
and old fans who grew up with the old shit, and you can either play the samurai who's not going to be stealthy as at all, or the ninja who is very stealthy, and you can turn off and on the insta kills. Personally, I'm turning that on. If I sneak up behind somebody and get a stealth kill, I want them fucking dead.
Yeah, and if you work hard enough to do it, you fucking deserve it.
Exactly.
Like that is how that is. In my brain, if you're playing as an assassin, there is no excuse that you cannot assassinate somebody unless you failed at being stealthy. And
Yeah.
like you okay boomer me all you want, but that's how Assassin's Creed was when it was good. The new
Mhm.
ones are they I think that they tried really hard to push into being almost like a Souls-esque style of gameplay where you had to figure out how to dodge and parry and everything, and they just don't do it well.
No. If they turned Assassin's Creed into a Souls game, I would have been fucking all over that.
No, and I mean I get it. In hindsight,
I'm so
as
big.
somebody who finally did play Souls, or a soul, is it Soulsborne?
Yes.
Bloodborne is a Soulsborne game.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was a
Um,
FromSoft game. It was a
yeah.
Soulsborne.
So as
That's
somebody
where
who has actually played one of those now, um, I can say that I probably would be interested in an Assassin's Creed game that was a Souls like. However, Ubisoft doesn't need to have anything to do with it.
no, no. If they make a standalone game that's a Souls like, I'll play the shit out
Mm-hmm.
of it. I've
Yeah, for sure.
every new game that comes out that is a Souls like or a Soulsborne type game, I hop on it because I love the parry mechanics, the stamina management, the combat. It always feels super nice. Even going back into the original Dark Souls for me is a fun experience. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
And there's so many different like combinations of weapons that you can use and armor, which personally I don't really give a fuck about the armor. I usually wear what I think looks nice and looks cool. And like, for weapons, I'm either going a quality build, which is stealth and dexterity equal the entire time.
Mm-hmm.
Like if I got 20 stealth, I got 20 dex. That's just how it
Mm-hmm.
goes. Or a just straight up fucking bonk strength build or a magic build. I've never gone full dex because I don't get the damage output that I want because I want to fucking overhand smash something and it just die.
Right.
That's what's fun for me when I play a fucking Soulsborne.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Okay. Rounding it out for today's topics is favorite games of all time. No specific order. I guess we don't need like a specific quantity. Obviously, your brain dictates like a top five, a top 10. Um,
hmm
I think we go one for one on it.
Favorite game of all time?
Games, plural.
Game. Game. Okay. Well, honestly, and I know everybody fucking makes fun of me for this. And I don't give a shit.
Is it Doki
It
Doki
was
Literature Club?
no, I fucking hated Doki Doki Literature. It didn't get creepy enough It didn't get creepy fast enough. It was,
Okay.
and I don't like visual novels. I did give it a shot. You know that. I played it on my
Yeah.
fucking channel. But the game Misu that I played, not Misu, Misa.
Oh.
I can't remember. You looked at my Steam and thought it was a porn game, and I had to tell you and plead with you that it fucking wasn't.
That seems legit.
But yeah, it was creepy like off the rip, and it
Okay.
was super fun to play. But favorite like number one, and it will always be number one in my book, because I found it at a very like pinnacle time in my life when I was a child. The same reason that I still love Spirited Away. Obviously, love Spirited Away. I have No Face tattooed on my fucking arm. But Final Fantasy X.
Okay. That's fair.
James makes fun of me for it fucking day in day out. He fucking hates Final Fantasy X. But I'll go on about it that it was like the first like real love story that I ever experienced as a child. It was like the first time that like a piece of media actually made me like fucking cry. And it
Mine was
was
Bridge to
just,
Terabithia.
yeah, exactly, and that's still like one of your favorite things ever, because it like got to you at like a pinnacle
Right.
time in like your formative years, and it like Final Fantasy X will always be like a top in my head. Like the story,
That's
the
fair.
characters, everything was fantastic.
I can't give an order to any of mine, but I know that one of the top games that comes to mind when I think of like the scenarios of you're stranded on a desert island, you can bring 10 things. Metal Gear Solid 2 Sons of Liberty is one of the best games of all time in my opinion. By like leaps, bounds, and miles.
I will,
The the story
I will,
was fantastic. The voice acting was fantastic. The soundtrack was fantastic. The mechanics were fantastic. I I see no wrong in that game.
I see your Metal Gear Solid 2, and I raise you for my other top, a Metal Gear Solid 3.
Was that Snake Eater?
That was Snake Eater.
That one was really good too.
The story in it and the characters, I think, were perfect, and like the fact that like you drop in there with absolutely fucking nothing
Mm-hmm.
and have to survive by any means, I think was really fucking cool. And the combat, I think they really rounded it out for 3. And everybody talks shit about it, but I don't care how uncinematic it was. That ladder scene with the fucking song
Mm-hmm.
was fantastic. I don't care. If they do not bring that into the remaster, I will fucking riot. That ladder
That's
with
fair.
that song better be in the remaster, or I'm going to Kojima and I'm punching him in the balls.
Hell yeah. Fuck Hideo. Um, another one that is a staple that frankly I wouldn't be where I am today without is Halo.
Yeah, I didn't
I
get to
spent
experience Halo, but yeah.
I spent countless hours with my big brother and his friends in some dingy, dank, dirty, blech, ass apartment with cockroaches and fucking Domino's 555 deals and 7 fucking 13-inch
Cockroach
TVs
pizza.
with 4 people per screen that you could see a box about yay fucking big. And it was some of the best times of my childhood was just having LAN parties with people that outclassed me so hard that it hurt, but I didn't care because I was enjoying it because Halo was fun. And then the progression was fantastic. Halo 1 was a masterpiece. Halo 2 was like it was it was amazing. It brought in so much more. And the soundtrack, Martin O'Donnell killed it on that. But then, you continue moving, and then for me, it dead stops at Reach. Anything from Halo 1 to Reach, I would put in a top 20 best games of all time. Everything past Reach could go with Assassin's Creed Odyssey and go make a shit baby together. Like it's
So I'm gonna, and this isn't in my top, but I did play it and I really enjoyed it. I and because we're talking about Halo, I want to throw this in the conversation. I think ODST was a really good. It wasn't a good Halo game,
mm-hmm.
but it was a really good game. And I like the fact that you're not Master Chief, you're not this like ultimate killing machine. You are
Right.
a grunt.
Right, you're an
You're
orbital
a
dropship
you're
trooper. You're just a marine.
you're a fucking nobody.
Mm-hmm.
You're just a dude trying to complete his mission and fucking go home at the end of the day.
I'm 90% sure that falls before Reach as far as like when it came out.
I thought
And that
ODST
is
was after Reach.
I don't think. But
I
that's
could be wrong.
I didn't feel I had to mention that one specifically because of
I
yeah, it
mentioned
was
it
Halo
specifically
3
because.
ODST, so it was before Reach.
Oh, okay. Okay, then. All right, never mind. Fuck everything I just said.
But yeah, no, I think they did a fantastic job on ODST as well. I'll absolutely agree with that. And bringing in Firefight was amazing too.
Yeah, Firefight was super fun. But yeah. But with Halo.
Mhm.
I'm going to give you, and this was super pinnacle for me and you as well, but pinnacle for me because it was the first online game I ever played. I sucked complete fucking shit at it, but it was. I still go back and play it every now and then, even though every lobby is a modded lobby and you can't even move anymore. But Modern Warfare 2, the
Yep.
original one,
Yep. Easily in my top
absolutely,
5. Yeah,
easily.
Modern Warfare 2 was. I had more time on Modern Warfare 2 probably than I have any other game to date.
You had an entire month.
Yeah, easily.
At the end of the count, you had an entire month's worth of hours in that fucking
Yeah,
game.
it was like 32 days on my main account.
Yeah,
And my alt account was another like 15 or so. So that's like, well, like 1,500 hours.
something like that. Yeah.
It's an
But I mean,
admirable amount.
granted, we were like 14. You were homeschooled. What the fuck
1,080
else were you
hours,
gonna do?
roughly.
Like what the fuck else were you gonna do?
I was gonna plug in my fucking HD Dazzle and try to hit some damn clips when I was still on.
Fucking HD Dazzle. Before
Dude,
we
I was
learned about what a Delgado was.
an Elgato.
An Elgato, my bad.
Not the cat. um, yeah, no, I had some times on Modern Warfare 2, dude. I played that game a lot. I met a lot of people in that game. I only still talk to one of them, really.
Yeah.
Um, no, that game was good.
Yeah,
The
you only
online
talked to
was
one
good.
of them
Hell, the
when you
campaign was even good to that, dude.
the campaign was fun. And it was the biggest plot twist of my childhood,
Dude,
honestly.
that scene where you play with the Russians and you walk in to that fucking airport, you don't have
That
to
is
shoot a
still
single person. You
that is
don't
still like
have to shoot.
a formative scene, and I still see people today that are like, "Hey, I'm showing my girlfriend no Russian," and I'm just sitting there like, "Yeah, what she think about it?" Huh?
Yep. Dude, and the hell of it is like imagine the look on the dude's face that realized I don't have to shoot.
I
Like the
didn't
dude was
realize
just
it
like,
until
I'm not gonna shoot.
like maybe 5, 10 years ago that you
Yeah.
didn't have to shoot a single fucking bullet.
Yeah, no, I agree. I had the same thing. Um yeah, Modern Warfare 2 definitely goes in there. Um I don't have a whole lot more of the online competitive ones really that were like a
No, me
staple
neither.
for me. I would put Bloodborne in there, being that that's the only Souls game that I played more than 15 minutes of. Um, I thought the story was cool as far as a Souls story can go. Um, Combat mechanics were class, weapons were fucking sweet, bosses were sweet. I don't know, I enjoyed it. It was a game that was designed to piss people like me off, and somehow I just like locked in and didn't get that mad at that game.
Well, you also had me in your ear chirping the entire time, like, "Hey, this is what you do. Go here.
On the initial
This is how
night,
you
yes.
counteract this boss." Yeah,
Yeah,
and then from
past
there you
that,
just
not
took
as
off.
much. Yeah.
But I would, and like I kind of feel like I'm just going back and forth with like the things that you say, but obviously,
Mhm.
But I will consider Dark Souls 2 in mine because that was the
Okay.
first Souls like that I actually played, and I remember the exact conversation. We were at GameStop, and I had a couple bucks to spend. I saw Dark Souls 2 sitting there. I picked it up, looked at you, and went, "Do I want this type of cancer in my life?" And you said no, and I went, "Fuck it," bought it,
Yeah.
played a couple hours of it, hated it, went, damn, I really want to get into these because they look super fun. Watched a walkthrough, and the rest was history. I've been a Souls player ever since.
Yeah. I feel like if I had consumed content in the way that you did with that, I might have the same appreciation for it and maybe would have gotten into it on a more official level. I'm at the point now where I really want to play Elden Ring, but I don't want to spend $60 on Elden Ring.
No, and I have Elden Ring, but I don't want to spend like $30 on the DLC. And I didn't like Elden Ring personally.
Really?
I didn't. I didn't like that it's open world. Some games just should not be open world, and I think the Souls series shouldn't go open world. And the fact that like it really gives you a little bit of direction, but not enough. Like I want like fucking Elder Scrolls or Fallout. Like I want to see where I'm supposed to go, but go over here.
Elder Scrolls
You
is a
know what I mean?
bad anything post Oblivion. Because Morrowind was a pain in the dick, dude.
Morrowind, yeah, because you had to,
You
yeah,
need to
but
go
like
see
Oblivion,
Yarmonger in Balmora. You
yeah.
hear that line one single time, and you never know again what you're supposed to do if you didn't pay attention.
Well, it's in your journal, but
Yeah,
still,
no, dude, you had to play that game with a fucking notebook. You had to click on a dialogue option and fucking.
yeah. But like, yeah, Oblivion or Oblivion, Skyrim,
Hmm.
Fallout 3,
Yeah, like a
all of those.
waypoint
Like
system, like a POI system.
my waypoint's over here.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go over here.
right. Like
If this,
I wanna adventure, I wanna explore, I wanna see what's over here.
yeah, if this boss is kicking my ass, I'm gonna go farm for a little bit over in this area. You know.
Yeah,
But Elden Ring just didn't have that. By the time I figured out where I was going, I three shot the first boss because I'd
right,
already done a whole bunch of shit over here and found a whole
right,
bunch of weapons and armor and upgraded my shit. That by the time I got to the first boss, it was a cakewalk.
right. Um, yeah, I don't know. I think I'll get into it at some point. Maybe next Steam sale I'll buy in. I'll give it a rip. It's something that I do want to play. I'm definitely playing it on controller though.
I kind of want to play Dark Souls on fucking on PC with PC control.
Dude, I don't think that MNK is the way to go for a game like that.
I want to say fuck it. I want mouse and keyboard because I mean I've done no hit runs. I've done no death runs. I've done fucking broken sword runs. I've done like every challenge run that I can think of that actually interests me. I've done bow only runs.
Hmm.
Like the next challenge that I can really think of is fucking mouse and keyboard because I haven't done that yet.
Wouldn't what's that? Is it called like Despaired?
Oh, that's not even a challenge run, really. That's just like all of my shit. Like nothing is um like everything's at zero. Like your level is zero. Your all your attributes are like fucking like 5 to 10,
Mm.
and that's all you get. So you're weak as shit. But like by the time you kill a couple things, you're good.
Yeah, okay.
You know, like you don't like if you pick like soldier, you get like 15 in strength, 10 in dex, and then like everything else is like you know super low. But
Hmm.
for that, it's just everything's even. Your level is zero. You don't have anything. You have like a broken short sword, and
Okay.
that's it. But like that's not really a challenge run because by the time you kill a couple things and you spec into what you want, you're
Right.
you're good.
Okay. Yeah, I never really played them. I know that that was like an option though, is just for like the class, because I played
Hmm.
about 20 minutes of Dark Souls 1, and that was it. Dude,
Yeah, I
every
didn't.
time I have a fucking toothpick in my mouth, I feel like Tom Crouch Jr.'s son from fucking Harry Potter, where he's licking all over his fucking lips when they, you know what I'm talking about, when they discover that he's not actually Mad Eye Moody. I catch myself in the
Yeah,
fucking camera licking at it and pushing it around, and I feel like I'm about to start speaking parcel tongue, dude. Continue.
but no, that's about all I got to say for that. But I think one more in the top five.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. What do you got? What do you got?
No, I said Dark Souls 2 for the last one,
Oh,
so it's here to
okay.
you. Sorry for all the
Hmm.
sniffing. I don't know. I think I'm
Dude,
fucking
Need for
running out
Speed
or
Most
something.
Wanted.
Yeah?
I think that's one of the games that got me into cars. Need for Speed Underground 1, I played an absurd amount of, and it gave me a false illusion of what cars were cool because it was in the early 2000s, and it was much an era of every car could be modded to look cool because of how the style was. The style was decals and goofy tribal graphics and like brand names above the fenders and shit like that. But
Fucking
as
oh, Midnight Club. Midnight Club made me think a Ford Taurus was the fucking shit.
dude, it's worse for Underground because Underground made me think a Hyundai Tiburon was sweet because it had 6 gears. Like
Yeah,
when you were drag racing, that extra gear seemed to help. Realistically, probably not. But
no.
in my head, I was like, oh, there's an extra number. It must be great. As an adult, I look at a Hyundai Tiburon. I'm like, who thought of that piece of shit? Like, where did that come from? I'm sure there's people out there that like it. That's your cup of tea. But I think that Most Wanted had like the more refined taste. It was post Fast and the Furious, and it was a more refined style of like RX-7s are sweet, BMW M3s are sweet, Ford GTs are sweet. Like they were very picky in selecting what cars were cool.
That was where we learned what the really cool cars in Fast and Furious were. Like the
Yeah,
Skyline and the fucking Supra.
yeah. Supra, I don't think was ever in a Fast and the Furious or a Need for Speed game.
I thought it was in Most Wanted. It might not have been though. I know the Skyline was though. The Skyline's gonna be wrong, and I'm gonna look like a jackass.
Let me take a gander at what cars are in it. So they had the Aston Martin DB9, the Audi A3 Quattro, the FSI Quattro, TT Quattro, Cadillac CTS. The Cobalt SS was in it. I don't remember that. That's a sweet choice. Dude, the Dodge
Wait,
Viper.
was the fucking Cobalt S? That's what I had. Fucking,
No,
that was my yellow
you had a
car.
base Cobalt.
Shut up. I had an SS. That was Brittany.
The Corvette Z6 or C6, Fiat Pinto, Ford GT, Mustang GT, Lamborghini Gallardo, Lamborghini Murcielago, the Lexus IS 300 that had the 2J motor in it that would have been in the Supra also. The Lotus Elise, the RX-7, RX-8, the Mercedes-Benz CLK 500, Mitsubishi Eclipse, Lancer Evo 8, Pontiac GTO, Porsche 911, 911 Turbo, 911 Carrera GT, Cayman S, Renault Clio V6, Subaru Impreza WRX STI, Toyota Supra, Vauxhall Monaro, and Golf GTI. So the Supra being in it, that must have been the last one they let it in because Toyota made an announcement that they did not want to allow their cars to be associated with illegal street racing. And that's why it got pulled from the Need for Speed franchise.
I remember that.
That's why they're in Forza now, not Need for Speed. There was no Skyline in that, moment. But there was a Supra.
Okay, so I had it backwards. Because I said the Skyline was in it. Yeah, but the Supra wasn't. So I had it backwards.
Underground 2 had a Skyline. Carbon had a Skyline.
I didn't play Carbon.
I played a shitload of Carbon. So, as far as like Need for Speed games, there's like a tier list type thing in my head. It's Most Wanted, Carbon, Pro Street, everything else. Pro Street was super fucking fun. They put a lot of shit into it. Like that if you were going to drag race, you actually had to do a burnout to warm up your tires. And if you overburned them, it would run like shit. If you underburned them, you would grip like shit. Like they put a lot of work into it.
I like that. See, and this isn't my top game, but I think Underground was the absolute shit.
Need for Speed?
Yeah.
Underground 1 or 2?
2.
Dude, 2 Riders on the Storm with the Doors and Snoop Dogg?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah, that shit was crazy.
I think for my last one, and this is super tough, and this isn't to convince you in any fucking way, because
dude, I know what
I haven't seen 42 yet.
Dude, I know exactly what this fucking game is based on that.
It's fucking Cyberpunk. I can't get enough of
Yeah.
Cyberpunk.
Dude,
Still
it's
to this
crazy that I
day,
knew
I
that.
can't fucking get enough.
Yeah, it's wild how I somehow knew that it was going to be Cyberpunk.
Because I've been
um,
trying to convince you to finally play Cyberpunk for fucking months now.
I know. I will get around to it. That's the same thing as like I've been meaning to get around to finishing a Hogwarts Legacy, another controversial game, but I'm a handful of like let's plays into it, and I'm at a point where it's a game I want to play off camera, but I already started let's plays, and I don't want to jump back into it at some point off. You know what I mean? Like, and not be at the same
I
point.
I made the mistake of playing Silent Hill 2 as a let's play, and I haven't gotten to like really enjoy it because I'm like worried about like getting content for it, and I should have played it by myself first,
Mm-hmm.
then did a let's play on it.
My concern with throwing it that way, because I thought about that too. I was like, yeah, I could just private those videos, go back, play through it the way I want to play it. But then you already know what's coming.
But it's Silent Hill 2. I already know what's coming.
Sure. I guess for mine it's a little different because there's, and maybe it's different. I know that like each house that you get sorted into has a different like storyline. But I feel like there has to, like, the meat and potatoes aren't going to change. You might be able to
Mm-hmm.
add green beans on the side, but there you're still going to end up with corn at the end. Like it's not, you know what I mean?
True, yeah, yeah. Personally, I only did one playthrough of Hogwarts Legacy, and I did the whole Hogwarts test and made my character specifically for me. Like I did a whole test and got like what my wand is, like with the
Mm-hmm.
core and
Mm-hmm.
everything, what my house would be. Fun fact, I'm a Slytherin. And like all that shit and made my character according to all my results.
I
So
did
I
the
thought,
in-game test genuinely for the sorting hat,
mhm,
and I didn't alter my answers based on what house I wanted or anything like that. And I got Ravenclaw, and I was like, that's acceptable. Ravenclaw or Slytherin were the only two I was going to be okay with. If I got Gryffindor, I was going to switch. If I got Hufflepuff, I was 100% going to switch.
yeah, I don't know
Um,
anybody who gets like gets called a Hufflepuff and is okay with it.
I do, but I don't like them. Like, anybody that I can imagine being like, I'm a Hufflepuff. No. Fuck out of
Just
here. Yeah.
fuck off.
Get out with your fake bullshit. No.
But no,
Um,
I when I got Slytherin as my house result, I was like, "You sure about that? You fucking sure about that?" But I stuck with it. My character's a Slytherin, and I'll tell you what, dude, those fucking robes, look fucking sweet.
Dude, I've come across a lot of legendary gear early on, and I think it's a little bit because I've got a touch tism. Because those fucking doors that have like the like the different like animal shapes and shit around them. I
Hmm.
figured that out before I found like the tooltip to teach you how to do it. I was looking at it and I was like 0 through 9. Yeah. Or no, initially I thought it was 1 through 10. Realized I was wrong. Figured it might be 0 through 9. Got it right. And then I was running around unlocking all of them, and then I ran into the tooltip, and I was like, "Oh, this would have been advantageous like 2 hours ago."
Hmm.
But no, I
Yeah,
think that game's super fun.
I stopped playing it because I didn't like the combat, and I didn't like fucking just casting Revelio 35 fucking times.
So the combat is back and forth for me. Part of me is like, "This is all right. It's decent. It is a little repetitive, but it's only as repetitive as you let it be. Like you can switch up your kit and have fun."
Well, yeah, 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 and I did that, but the thing that I didn't like was like, oh, this guy's got the red shield, which means you got to cast this spell, but the red shield goes into blue shield, which means you got to cast this spell, then this spell, and then he's like open, so then you can actually do damage
You
to
know you
him.
ain't got to do that. I
Motherfucker, what?
suck. Yeah, you don't. You can just blast through that shit. That's what I do. If they got a shield on, I levitate their asses and hit them with a flamethrower, and then they don't have a shield all of a sudden. That's what I do. because I was like, I'm not gonna remember to hit this one and then this one and then this one. I just pick them up, catch them on fire, and then beat the piss out of them. I am at the point. Do you know the? I don't know if the campaigns are the same. There's a part where you have to sneak into the restricted section of the library.
Yeah, the campaign's not as
Okay.
different as you might think.
Okay. Um, I'm past that point, and when you had to fight all those like guard dudes through that mirror, they had the red shields, and I just beat the shit out of them. Like I didn't go through the do this and then do this and then do this. Like naturally, I parry when I'm supposed to parry, or I just
Yeah.
dodge. But for all intents and purposes, I've never done like the shield drop spells. I just beat the piss out of them.
Okay, well, now I know that I have to replay it.
Yeah.
I have to pick it back up.
Yeah, but no, I think it's a fun game. I think that they should add Quidditch to it. I think that would be another like fun aspect of it. Um,
I think and I heard a rumor that they're making another one, and I'm excited for it. And I like my only gripe with it was the fucking combat. So now I don't have a fucking gripe with it. So now I gotta fucking replay it.
you play it on console or PC?
Console. I didn't
I
have a
really like it
PC
on
yet when I was
PC. The
playing that.
graphics were like genuinely kind of stunning.
Yeah. I need to go back and play Stalker because after playing Stalker with you and like once or twice on my own, I never picked it back up, even though it's a fantastic fucking game. I loved it.
Hmm.
It was super fun. I just never went back into it.
It is free on Game Pass.
I'll get it on Game Pass because then I don't have to wait for my shaders to fucking load.
Yeah, dude, I looked at it the other day. I almost cloud played it because you can even fucking cloud play it.
Motherfucker.
And I was like, that's fucking sweet. I don't have to pay for it. But yeah,
Yeah,
I
well, I
think
might go
we're
do that
just
then.
over an hour here, so I think that we could kill this one out.
Sweet. Go
We'll
make some
shoot
drugs.
for
Go sell
another
some
one
drugs.
next week. Yeah, we both live stream. I guess I didn't include that, but the link should be on our channel. Twitch.tv/onephilim, twitch.tv/it's ecstasy, ecstasy. Which one is it?
Oh, ecstasy.
Twitch.tv/oecstasy. I could put the links down in there. If you enjoyed any of this, comment, like, subscribe. You know, the basic YouTube stuff, just the basics. Yeah, no, to anybody that actually got an hour into this, I appreciate you. We plan on trying to release these once a week. If demand gets to be more, then maybe we can bother with doing some more. But
Even if demand doesn't get there, I still want to fucking do this because I like just yapping.
yeah, dude, it's an open platform to yap, and then we can revisit those conversations and inevitably talk shit to each other about it later. So,
Yeah, exactly.
but yeah, no, thank you everybody that came out. We're relatively new to this as far as the channel age, so please like, comment, subscribe, share with your friends, follow us on Twitch, tell
Show
somebody
me your
that they're your
butthole,
best
cool
friend
stuff
today.
like
I
that.
don't know. Okay, catch you guys later.